VODs channel, welcome. This is my third video that I've watched today. I've separated them each into their individual reactions. Dude, I'm gonna be honest, I haven't subscribed yet. We need to subscribe. Weefy's videos, oh my goodness, they are insane. We first watched Searching for a World That Doesn't Exist, then we watched Finding a Player That Doesn't Exist. Now I'm gonna watch My Minecraft World Is Deleting Itself. Because I saw this video when it came out, and I never watched it. So, yeah, let's watch it.
Weird Missing Block Glitch is the first of many videos uploaded to a channel called Nights. The channel is sparse, no profile picture, a blank banner, and only these 8 videos. But
banner's
these
a Minecraft
videos
guy.
aren't normal. They're videos of a player haunted by a world that is deleting itself. A world that holds secrets into one of the strangest stories the internet has ever seen. And the only way to solve it is to watch the first video, where it seems like whoever we're watching is giving us a lay of the land, showing us around their Minecraft world. We catch a glimpse of their house and a small castle off to the side, and then something a bit odd. If you blink, you might miss it, but take a look at the scenery. In the distance, there is a single tree with only 1 leaf. We have no reason to believe this isn't just man-made, but it feels weird, especially considering all the normal trees around it. But this is hardly the strangest part of the video. As our protagonist keeps walking, he runs into this.
See, that's a little weirder.
Chunk of void. This hole extends all the way to bedrock.
Fun fact, this is an actual glitch that happens on Bedrock around 3.5 million blocks.
And even stranger all around it, our main character runs into some
not specifically with chunks for bigger
trees.
regions.
Again, these could have been man-made, but why? Why not mine the full tree, and why leave it
looked like he
this?
discovered
Our player hesitantly goes down into the chunk, and I guess after being spooked, heads back to the surface only to find that a giant hole has now appeared in front of their house. They freak out, and the video ends. This hole wasn't there before, and what caused it is completely unknown, but clearly our character was spooked, leaving the world almost immediately.
I'm gonna just say it, because we've watched a few now. I think, give it a year's time, Minecraft ARGs are gonna get huge. I think they are going to be everywhere. I think there's going to be so many Minecraft ARGs.
He didn't
like the other ones that I watched, like the Civilization one and Parkour, like all the Civilization videos, never like really like inspired me to like want to make something. This, I'm like, oh, this would be cool to make, you know?
Do this to their world, so who or what did? There are a few more things about this video, though, that I didn't point out at first. For one, on the walk back to the house, our main character encounters a tree.
Minecraft YouTube is so back. I don't want to jinx it. However, I do think Minecraft YouTube is so back. Are we in agreement that it's time? Do you guys think it's now time?
Block, but judging by how he reacts,
different
filling the gap, we can assume that he wouldn't leave a tree like this, and this also...
Better, actually. A better description. I think Minecraft storytelling is so back. I think the last time where Minecraft storytelling has been especially prevalent is Dream SMP lore, and it's gone, and I think we're now in the next wave, and I think the next wave isn't on Twitch. I think the next wave is YouTube videos like this. That's my thing.
So wasn't him. Just another weird oddity of blocks seemingly
If you're a content creator and you want to be like a Minecrafter, if you find this stuff cool and it inspires you, make it. Make it. There's also like things like White Pine as an example as well. Stuff like that. Make it. Make it now.
In this world.
Start
Another
today.
thing that's strange is the lack of bedrock. Both of the holes we've seen so far have had no bedrock at the bottom.
It could be out of render, but yeah, probably not.
Lacks a foundation. But finally, we can get some concrete info about what's going on by looking at the description. Weird missing blocks in mine and Danny's
Who's
world.
Danny?
Not sure if this is something that just happens, but I thought I'd put it here and see if anyone knows. Mason Knight 77.
Oh, we got a name.
Now we have a name for whoever runs this channel, Mason, and we get confirmation that he doesn't know what's going on here either. We're also introduced to someone named Danny. Apparently he shared this world with Mason, but we're still totally in the dark about what's going on and why holes into the void are appearing all over this world. For that, we have to watch video number 2. The video
gets worse. What do you guys think is going to happen in this video?
Imagination about what's to come. Mason leaves his house again, and we can see that 2 new holes have formed in his world, one in the far corner and one eating up part of the castle.
Oh
Mason
no, his lovely looking castle is oh, that's unfortunate.
looks around and peers down the various holes. He's probably scared and confused, and yet again there's no bedrock to be seen. But as he approaches the hole, we notice something odd. There's no leaves on this tree. This tree isn't caught in any chunk areas, but for some reason half its leaves are totally gone, just like the tree we saw in episode 1. And not to mention, this time there are strange holes dug into the ground below it. For some unknown reason, more and more blocks are slowly disappearing from this world, and Mason is trapped inside.
Chat, was there an easy way in beta to do this? Like, remove those chunks? Like, if they actually had to mine that out manually?
Mason then heads to the castle and begins to repair the ground and then the castle itself. The video cuts to Mason getting more materials from his chest before heading back to continue the repairs. He finishes repairing the castle, but as he turns around, he sees it. A new hole opened up right behind him. In between Mason walking back and finishing the castle repairs, there were no cuts in the video. No time for someone to dig this chunk out. This happened as Mason was online.
Delete the chunk?
Just like we saw in episode
there's not like a easy command in beta surely to do that.
1. Probably frightened, Mason goes to investigate, looking around
There's not like
frantically,
an
peering
easy way to
down
do
the
that.
hole, and then we get this.
Pighoink. Oh, Hero
All of
Brian
a
here.
sudden, all the leaves around Mason
Hero Brian
disappear,
here.
leaving the trees bare just as we saw before. This is terrifying.
No, I don't
the
think so.
world is disintegrating around Mason in real time. But why? What's behind this
I
disappearance?
think if you deleted a chunk, it would just clear it. Like it would clear it and reset it back to normal. I don't actually know, but I don't even know if you can just do that.
And why is it doing this? The description of this video doesn't tell us much.
Like, it's
Essentially,
not individual
exactly what
files
we
for
just
chunks.
saw unfold. However, we do learn that this castle is specifically Danny's and not Mason's.
Yeah, there'd
As
be a
for
program.
The rest of what's going on
I just don't know
here,
how much
we're
would have
still
existed for
very
beta
much in the
1.3.
dark, and video 3 is a bit strange. A new world begins with the generating title screen, but it seems cut up, since right after supposedly generating the world, Mason, or whoever we're watching, already has pretty advanced items, so this world was definitely played through quite a bit between what we just saw, and at least from the terrain we can see, it seems like a totally different world than what Mason was just showing us. Mason walks around for most of the video before planting a rose and looking out over a lake. This video also has a song playing in the background.
Yeah, never heard this song. What's this song?
C418's Danny. The video is simple but weird, and it seems very out of place. For one thing, why the cut between generating world and getting all of these items? It just doesn't make sense to me to cut out all the progress and only give us this. And for another, why the rose and the music?
Oh, just like
to
in
me,
the
though,
physical,
maybe this is simply meant to be Mason's single-player world, a way to escape from the horrors happening in the world he shares with Danny. This is his peaceful reverie away from it all. But the next video is the polar opposite.
Whoa!
It seems that Mason is back on his and Danny's world, and he's not going down without a fight. All the leaves near Mason's house are now gone, and he's not in a good mood about it. Mason punches a sheep and a chicken before walking to the back of his house and showing us a giant crevasse. This is the biggest hole we've seen form yet, implying that the disintegration is only getting faster. In a rage, Mason slaughters all the chickens perched by his base, almost as if he's fighting back against the world itself, and he discovers another chunk with random holes that seem to go nowhere, as if the chunk is preparing to be deleted. Enraged, Mason returns home, grabs TNT, and begins exploding the chunk over and over again, as if he thinks that it's his world that's out to get him, and he's going to fight back by hurting the world itself. But his efforts are in vain.
Seems a big
After
explosion
detonating
for what it
almost
was.
all his TNT, Mason turns around to find that another chunk of the castle has been deleted right behind him. The world is also fighting back, and it's fighting harder. Mason drops his last TNT into the newly formed hole and returns home, slaughtering all the mobs stationed outside once again, accidentally blowing up his house, and finally returning to bed in defeat. This isn't
gonna happen
a
when he wakes
victory,
up?
but it seems like Mason has a change of heart, since in the next video, things are quite different. The video titled
Aw.
Repairs consists of Mason doing just that. Repairs.
He's gone through the
world
stages of
around him
grief.
has gotten even worse, but Mason doesn't seem to be mad anymore. Instead, he grabs a bunch of dirt and cobblestone and patches up both the castle and the holes he made in the last video, almost as if he's apologizing to the world for what he did last time. The description seems to confirm this. Mason is making amends with whatever supernatural force is haunting his game. I guess he's hoping that by apologizing, maybe it will just stop taking away land. Mason continues to patch up the castle, but as he brings in some ladders, we notice something odd. A chest. Mason doesn't open this chest, and it wasn't here earlier when Mason was rebuilding, meaning that he placed it sometime during this cut and what we see earlier on. But why? This is a bit of a weird mystery,
be like
and
a
I'm
book
still not
asking,
really
like,
sure
"Please don't
what this
delete."
chest is meant to symbolize, but we can do some deduction to maybe figure out what he put inside. This is the last glimpse we get of Mason's inventory before the cut.
flower?
We can see that it looks pretty normal, nothing that
flower
weird.
in.
After the cut though, once we know the chest has been placed, Mason's inventory looks like this.
Told you!
Pretty much everything that was originally there is
Dude,
still
I am so on it. Like, can we talk about how on it I am? Can we actually talk about how on it I am?
there, besides the cobble that we know Mason used to rebuild the castle. In fact, there's only two
and a lever.
items that were lost across the cut. The chest, which obviously Mason placed inside, and weirdly, the rose. Mason picks this rose 20 seconds into the video, and weirdly, the rose.
Well, no, there's a lever here,
Mason
too.
picks this rose 20 seconds into the video, and given that it's gone after the cut, we can assume that this is what he placed inside the chest.
Oh, the
But
lever's probably
if
for the door,
so,
never mind.
Why? What's the significance in placing this rose inside of the chest? And honestly, we don't have any actual proof that that's really what he put in the chest. For all we know, he could have put nothing and
I think
just
that makes
replanted
sense.
or
I think it
stored
makes
the
sense to
rose
put the
somewhere
rose
else.
as
Regardless,
like a
the rest
offering,
of the video
you know?
continues rather calmly.
Makes sense
there
to
are
me.
more repairs, and Mason goes to bed. By now, we can observe a pattern. Every video we've watched so far, with the exception of the odd New World one, has more and more chunks and leaves disappearing from Mason's world. He starts confused, tries to run away, tries to fight back, and finally tries to make amends. All to no avail. It just keeps getting worse for him. Throughout all of this, Mason sometimes rebuilds other chunks, but the one thing he keeps rebuilding is Danny's castle. And on the subject, we never once get to meet Danny himself. But
I didn't know that was Danny's castle.
cause of the
it's gonna be so sad.
disintegration
It's gonna be
is
so
still
sad.
very unknown. And
It's gonna be so sad. Danny's like not gonna be alive anymore. It's gonna be so sad. It's gonna be so sad.
Mason isn't really talkative in any of these videos, so our only choice to solve this mystery is to keep watching. The next video, titled Border, is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. A border formed around the house and the castle. I don't know why, but it keeps getting worse, and I don't know what to do. Mason gives us a tour, and yeah, it's bad. A giant border of void chunks has now formed all around his house and nearby land. The terrain behind it seems to be okay, for now, but it's clear that this area Mason lives in is being isolated by the world around it. The entire video consists of Mason walking the perimeter, giving us a tour of the horrors taking over his world. At one point, something catches his eye. Cobblestone, a not naturally occurring block, and he heads down into the border to explore further. He comes across this weird wall-like structure and studies it for a minute, then leaves. Cobblestone usually implies man-made, but what this structure is very much beyond me. Though given the nearby presence of lava and obsidian, it could be just as easily that this structure was naturally generated when the terrain spliced or was dug out. We have no idea.
It's too
As the
weird of
tour
a pattern to
continues,
be
we find
cobble
out that
generated.
almost all the trees inside the perimeter have been stripped of their leaves, resulting in a very haunting and eerie skyline.
Yeah, that's
this
terrifying,
area
man.
of the world specifically, where Mason's house is being destroyed, which begs an interesting question. Why doesn't Mason just run? Why doesn't he just abandon this house or abandon this world? I mean, typically, if this was your normal player, I don't
there's
know
more
why
to it
on
than
earth
that, innit?
anyone would stay
His
in
friend's
this
not gonna
world
be
when
with us
clearly
anymore.
something is very wrong with it. It just doesn't make sense to me why Mason is staying amidst all of this happening to him. When Mason does eventually return to his house, we can see that a chunk of land that was there before is now missing. More corruption, just as we're used to. Mason goes to sleep again, and this video ends. Things are only getting getting worse. More and more blocks keep disappearing, and it's clear that Mason is powerless to stop it, but the next video takes a very strange turn. But before we get to it, if you are enjoying the video, then please consider subscribing. I'm trying to reach 2 million subscribers by the end of the year, but a lot of people end up watching these videos through and never subscribe. So if you do enjoy these videos and want to see more just like them, subscribing is the best way to tell me that and support the channel. But thank you so much, and let's get back to Mason. The next video, Calm, is exactly that. Mason is just playing Minecraft. No chunks disappear, nothing weird ever happens. It's just 5 minutes of peace. Except, well, there is one thing. Actually, 2 things. For one thing, 55 seconds into this video, music starts to play.
Wait, what was his friend's name again? Wait, what did they say his friend's name? Was it Danny? I've just clocked. Was his friend's name Danny? Oh my goodness, his friend Danny is dead. And he picked up the rose and planted it when Danny started playing as like a tribute to him. And they oh my goodness. Oh, this is about to get so sad. This is going to get so sad.
Every other video we see on this channel up to this point has had no music. That is, every video but one. A New World. In fact, this is the same song that plays in that video as well. Why that song is present in both A New World and here is unknown, but this video hides a far darker second secret. Searching in the captions of this video, 2 minutes in, we get a random string. This string is a YouTube URL, and adding the correct prefix takes us to an unlisted video on Mason's
Escaping
channel.
to Hell?
Escaping to Hell. It's pretty clear that this video takes place after everything we've already seen so far, as Mason's tools have gotten better and the chunks are far worse. Mason heads to grab obsidian from his chests and constructs a portal in front of his house, but when he enters, we get this. This is extremely surreal. It seems from the fog and textures that all of a sudden we've entered a different version of Minecraft. The text in the top left is gone, and all of a sudden Mason is in creative without any of his items. But of course, let's not ignore the elephant in the room that this is not the Nether. Instead, there is only a road, a seemingly infinite extending street that Mason spawns in on. Mason walks through this eerie dimension until he stumbles across what looks...
I swear, if you turn left here, I'm not going to be happy with you. If you turn left here, I'm really not going to be happy with you.
Like very poorly built traffic lights. Looking over the crossroad, he continues straight until he sees it. A block on the road. Then another, and then stairs, and finally glass panes. Mason freezes, staring for a few seconds.
Was that what his house was made of? Did I make that up?
Seconds before quickly turning back and running through the portal back to the overworld. On the other side, he has his items again, we're back to normal, and he tears down the portal. And in the corner of his vision, we can see that part of the castle has been destroyed yet again. What in the world did we just watch? This is no longer normal. Not that it ever was, but even this is out of place for this YouTube channel. Given how he was looking around, it seems like Mason didn't build this, but still, what on earth? I don't really know what to tell you. All we can really do is go into the next video where things have somehow gotten even worse. Mason is moving house, and at first it isn't really clear why, but as he looks up we can see exactly the reason. Half his house was just vaporized by one of the chunk errors, but it isn't just his house. As Mason looks around, we can see that any land past the border is
Escape
now
where,
gone.
bro?
The chunks in the distance are completely removed, and it appears that all that is left of Mason and Danny's world are the chunks we can see around us.
Escape where, bro?
Spread deep now, and it doesn't seem to be slowing down.
So you gotta go back to the Nether?
But steadily, Mason moves all of his stuff into Danny's castle, chest by chest, item by item. Interestingly, he still doesn't address the chest he placed in the castle basement, but as he's relocating the last of his torches, we can see it. His house has fully vanished, gone into the void, and nothing but the final back wall giving any sign that it ever existed in the first place. place.
Dude, yeah, the resolution of this, that this is like the origin of Skyblock. This is how it came about.
Looks at it for a few more seconds before curiosity, or maybe longing, gets the best of him, and he goes to say goodbye one last time. He visits the pit that was once his old home and takes it all in, staring longingly into the void before turning to watch the sunset. He stays like this for a while before finally heading home to the castle and sleeping once again. At this point, it's pretty clear that Mason feels powerless against whatever is taking control over his world. The haunting does not seem to be slowing down, and day by day, more and more blocks are being removed from the world. It's only a matter of time until nothing is left of this world, but we're too far in to stop watching now. We have to see this story through and find out what's really going on here. It's time for the next video, Hope. The video begins with a stark contrast to last time.
Dude, he's actually in Skyblock.
Castle is now seemingly the only chunk left of this world, with Mason taking shelter within its walls. We can only guess that there isn't much time left before the world deletes this chunk too once and for all. From the various cobblestone bridges spanning out into the void, we can guess that Mason was bridging outwards in hopes of finding something, anything that still exists out there, but apparently it was to no avail. His render distance has decreased, and we watch as he gathers blocks for one final expedition out towards the left. But this time, he finds something. Somehow, in the distance, Mason catches sight of a chunk that still exists. A chunk that, for some unknown reason, hasn't been deleted. Why? Why has this chunk survived the disintegration when nothing else did? Regardless, Mason can't believe his eyes, running back to get more blocks to finish his bridge before finally climbing over the edge to admire the intact chunk. It seems like he still can't believe his eyes. Something still exists. There's still hope in saving this world if he can figure out what's special about this chunk. He tries bridging out more, but changes his mind, going to mine the tree before again changing his mind and replanting the wood. It seems that he doesn't want to cause any damage to this chunk, to savor it as the final remains of his world. He climbs up to the highest point before being transfixed by the dandelion. He then rushes back to his base and brings over food and a chest. Mason quickly kills the animals that have spawned in the new chunk and then makes some sort of odd sacrifice or prayer to the chunk. I'm not really sure what he's getting at, but he fills a chest with items before giving yet another offering. This video takes a weird turn, and it seems like Mason is trying to use this chunk as a way to save his world. If he can figure out what makes this chunk special, then maybe he thinks he can bring his world back. As for what does make this chunk special, I'm not really sure. I don't know why this is the one chunk that survived in the void, but I did find something rather interesting. If we trace back to the very first video, remember the weird tree with a missing block that Mason was it that? Well, we can actually line up this shot of the tree with the tree on the surviving chunk, and this shot of the flower confirms it. This is the same tree, the same chunk that Mason interfered with in the first episode. Whether that actually means something or is just a pure coincidence is up for debate, but it seems a bit too good to be true. Either way though, it doesn't really tell us why this was the chunk that survived the deletion. It's hard to believe Mason did nothing in any other chunk. The next video though gives us some more information. The video is titled Amekania, which, after looking it up, is the name of the Greek goddess of helplessness. If that doesn't clue you into what's to come, well, you'll see. The video starts with Mason on the bridge back to the castle, returning from the surviving chunk. Given the amount of food he pulls out of his chest back home, it seems like he's going to make another offering. Before he does though, Mason begins tearing down his other bridges before finally heading back to the surviving chunk. But when he returns to it, it's gone. The chunk has vanished. The blocks Mason placed are still there, but the chunk itself is totally gone. Deleted. Clearly, Mason's
there's one thing there. There's one thing there.
Oh, it's the offerings weren't received. This world clearly isn't done taking things from Mason. Mason, now utterly defeated, looks around helpless, hopeless, as his dreams of saving this world were crushed right.
Do you reckon the main island's gonna be gone?
He dumps his offering into the void before tearing down this final bridge. There's nowhere else for him to go. Mason heads back to the base and in one quick motion breaks his chest of of cobblestone and takes it all with him. He waits outside, watching as day turns to night before turning to the void and throwing his cobblestone in. Block by block, stack by stack, Mason throws his building blocks into the void until there's only one stack left. And he gets rid of that one too. The meaning is obvious. Mason has lost hope. He's
lost
up on
it.
bridging
He has
anywhere
lost it in
else
general.
and escaping this castle in the sky. There's just nowhere for him to go anymore. That surviving chunk was his last thread of hope, and now it's gone. Mason is fully helpless. But as he drops the final stack, he looks up. A tree has just grown. He stares
my
at
goodness.
it for a little before heading to bed
Wait, it
and
worked.
ending the video.
It worked. His offering worked.
This video is a journey of Mason, hopeful
No, we're
about
not
his
done here.
potential savior to losing it in the blink of an eye, giving up all hope before once again, for a moment, seeming like he isn't going to give up. It's genuinely just sad to watch, but it still doesn't answer what's causing all of this in Mason's world. Why is it that the castle hasn't been deleted yet when everything else has? Why did that other chunk take so long to delete, and still, what in the world was the meaning of that Nether
his
episode?
friend broke
It
the
just
block.
doesn't add up. But there's only one video left in
Nether,
the
I'm
series,
clueless.
so if there's ever been a time for answers,
Acceptance.
it's now. Acceptance begins with Mason heading out of the castle, and we see something interesting. More saplings have been planted. It seems like that tree growing in the last video must have sparked something inside of Mason, because
Obviously.
now he looks like he hasn't given up on escaping this void yet. He turns and notices a gap in his fence before going up
wait,
to
no, I was
fix
gonna
it,
say it
after
was there,
which
but there
he
used to
heads
be full
back
blocks in
down
that.
to look into the void. But suddenly, something switches.
Uh-oh.
Mason runs back inside and grabs his shovel, before immediately returning, and after a few moments of hesitation, he begins to destroy.
What?
Mason breaks all his saplings before
What?
returning to the only one remaining corner of this island and digging it out. Without stopping,
What?
he digs the tunnel all the way to the bottom of the void and then back up, but he doesn't stop there. Mason uproots his entire island, mining all of the dirt before starting to destroy the castle too. No blocks are spared, and Mason continues to dig more and more, breaking the entire tower before moving on to the next one. Soon, the entire top half of the second tower is also gone, and Mason pauses, only to then throw his armor into
Mason,
the
what are
void
we
as
doing?
well. He continues to tear down the
Mason,
walls,
what are we doing?
block after block after block, until all that's left of the entire world
Is the chest.
Is the chest.
Oh my goodness, the
Mason
chest.
goes into F5
Drops
and
all these
looks
things.
around, surveying the void around him and watching the clouds.
Mason, can you hear
seemingly at
me?
peace for the first time in ages, before looking down, breaking the chest, and falling.
He's
into the
breaking the
void.
chest?
And that's the end of the series. There are no videos left and seemingly no answer of what comes next, what this all means,
I didn't think
and
that was-
why this happened to Mason. All we're left with is a strange, cryptic, and incoherent set of videos. But
I swear, if
do
the video
think
ends here-
there is a story here.
Okay.
What we're watching isn't meant to be a surface-level playthrough of a strange situation. It's a showcase of a human being going through the 5 stages
I said that.
of grief.
I said
Ever
that.
since he was mentioned
I
in
said
the
that.
description of the first episode, Danny hasn't made a single appearance in any of his videos.
Oh my goodness.
This was his castle.
Oh my goodness, how have I not, oh my goodness, how did I read the 5 stages of grief and I didn't accept that the grief was his friend's death? How have I not, how genuinely, how did I not piece that?
His world with Mason, but we never see or hear of Danny. But isn't it strange that the only chunk that Mason keeps repairing in this whole series is Danny's
As if it
castle,
wasn't
not
gone.
even his own home? Isn't it strange that Mason never leaves this world like any normal player would? I mean, if this happened to you, why would you ever keep playing? Unless this world meant something
Oh my
more to you.
goodness.
Unless this world was the only
Oh my
memory of
goodness.
someone you had lost. And if that was true, wouldn't your first priority be to keep whatever
Oh my
they
goodness.
made intact, to fight back and preserve their memory? The
Oh my
Channel
goodness.
Knights tells a story of Mason going through denial, continuing to play in his world as if nothing was wrong, writing it off as a glitch or a bug. Anger, lashing out against the mobs, blowing up his world and dropping lava into the void to fight back against the disappearances. Bargaining by trying to make amends and pleading with the only thing that he had left to somehow bring his world back, to preserve his memories and keep them alive. Depression, giving up on ever making it out and throwing away all that he had left before
And
finally
acceptance.
acceptance. Not letting the world take Danny's castle from him, but instead tearing it down himself. Understanding that he can't hold on to the past. Holding on to this world won't bring Danny back. Nothing will. The only thing he can do to heal his wounds is to accept that Danny is gone. And I'll do you one better. The enlisted video, Escaping to Hell, that's Mason telling us that his hell isn't the Nether, it's remembering what happened to Danny, which I can only suspect must have been some sort of accident. Whether Danny was a friend, a brother, or something more, he's gone, and Mason has to accept it. But that's not where this story ends, because what if I told you that these videos weren't in order and you've already seen how this story ends for Mason?
What?
Because what comes after
Oh my goodness. That was amazing. Oh my goodness, that was amazing. Oh my goodness, that was amazing. That was... Oh my. That was my favorite, yeah. I agree. That was my favorite. That was incredible. Wow. Wow. Well, chat and VOD watchers, I'm going to finish there and think about what I just did. Oh my goodness, that was incredible. Chat, thank you guys for being here. Oh, I'm tired. I can't believe Daddy's dead. I know. I'm oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's... Chat, I just realized something. Oh my goodness, I just realized something. I just realized something that makes this... Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, wait, I can't... Chat. You know C418 wrote the song Danny after a friend of his passed away too early. That's the right song, right? That's the right song, isn't it? Danny starts with a muffled piano quietly playing a pensive melody with a synth start playing somewhat sad melody and is joined by chiptune like synths. The second half of the track is happier, more hopeful tone and features heavy trickling, dripping sounds and percussive, rhythmic. The track ends with a piano layered with a muffled Celestia playing a calm, agitated chord and getting quieter. Is this going to say it anywhere? Because C418 had said this, and I don't know where the source is. And I think the guy died in a car crash as well. If I'm not mistaken. Oh my goodness. And I don't know where the source is. But I had seen about this. Hold on. I saw a short about it, I think. I don't know where it would be, but I saw a video about this. And he had, like, spoke about it in, like, a, Discord call or something like that. But I don't know where I'd find that. Maybe I saw a TikTok? Maybe I saw it on TikTok? Hold on. At the trivia? Was it in the trivia? I don't think it was it? C418. That's where I assumed it would be. But that's not. I don't think that is what it is. Because there's no source for that. I had seen this thing, but I can't find it. Maybe I saw it on TikTok. Who made the video? Who made the video? Someone made this video and I don't know who it was. I don't know how to even find it. I don't even know how to find this video that But I saw a thing that it was he specifically said it was a friend that he didn't know for too long that that was gone too fast. I'm 90% certain. If anyone can ever find that video, tweet it at me. For now, we're going to end stream. Sorry, ended the stream on a really depressing note, didn't I? But yeah, that was